Well, hello there, my friends. My name is Life, nickname Gitz, and today I'll be casting the grand final for I think it's VCT EMEA finals playoffs something. I don't. I literally have it literally like right next to me, and I can't even goddamn speak. My apologies. Game changers. My bad. Game changers. Um, I've been awake for like the past 2 hours. I should know this by now, but we're not in the game. Um, I guess I'll give off my little prediction before, or a little bit disclaimer. Actually, I should give this first. I'm always so I guess I'm jumping to conclusions or jumping to my conclusion. I want to say a little disclaimer that I didn't do too much research. And when I say I didn't do too much research, the only research I did was listening to the analyst desk. So yeah, and this is also the first time of me casting a Valorant game. Of course, I'm not officially casting; it's just practice. But so we have G2, their female squad versus Guide, their female squad. G2 Gozen, I think you say, versus X, and right now we have G2 playing for more of an aggressive take, their Jet, but Guide is just predicting it and having their, I believe, I think Jet as well. Just holding angles. Actually, no, it's or Cypher, but so Guide is able to take A, which is quite nice. I mean, I think they took A pretty quickly just purely because of the fact that G2 just didn't really they allowed Guide to take it, and now we have like a little trade game. All the gunfights are going in a favor of G2 currently, but in a 3v3, Guide takes out Cypher, and now there's some damage to G2 Cypher, but he falls and there's a 2v2. Chili is like almost dead. The player and all of guys just falling apart right here. There are lineups. Unfortunately, Guide wasn't able to deny the defuse from G2, and G2 was able to win that. I'm sorry, this is the first time I'm doing this. It's so like fast paced. I'm so used to Siege now. um, okay, so like I said, disclaimer. This is the first one I'm doing. I'm casting a Valorant game. We got that out of the way. My apologies, but second, yeah, I just didn't do too much research. Of course, I watched a little bit of the games, mainly from the analyst desk showing it, but I know G2 and Guy has faced before. G2 was able to beat Guy 2-0. I believe it's 13-9, 13-10 split, if I remember correctly. But Guy is going for more of a mid push here, pushing into A. Before they did plant it here, but G2 was able to defuse, and you do have players from G2 in metal doors, but unfortunately, all the kills are going in favor of G2. Guy is able to refrag one. The guy and Kim was able to kill Julio, but G2 is just keep trading those players on the 3v1. There's not much that Cinnamon can really do here unless there's a huge clutch that Cinnamon can pull out. But with all the G2 players coming up on her, she's just unable to get any of the frags, and that is another round for G2. Right there, um, I like how God kind of attacked because it was more of it was not necessarily more liked, but it was more of a rush if anything. They were just kind of like, okay, let's get into sight as fast as possible. Let's try to hit them where they most likely not expected it, and then just try to kill them. But G2 fully expected it, and that was kind of in a way a wrong play from Guide. But we have a possible similar thing. If anything, is maybe a contest, but there's a solo dart from Peach right here. Of course, it gets shot out, but they do know there are at least some players in mid. G2 is ready for this to some extent. Mimi, if I think that's how you say her name, is on mid doors or the wooden doors, and all of Guide is now backing off. Cypher is still near A main, but he is now rotating to help his teammates over at B elbow, and uh, G2, it seems like they know this, and there's at least some damage caused from Silly, but or Sofa, but not much. G2's Viper is able to get two kills, one with the Molly, I believe, and another one for gun. 4v2, and it's kind of the same thing. Like Guide is not really pushing inside with too much intel. That's kind of the thing about it. They're not really pushing in. They're more or less relying on their fragging capability against G2, but G2 is just ready for it. They just are ready for it, and G2 is able and or Mimi is able to kill the last two Guide members, and that is a round. for G2. See, I didn't really like that. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I think the mid contest was okay. I don't think that was necessarily the most terrible thing in the world. Oh no, Smurf Fed died from the cloud, bam, from the smoke. But I don't think guild. I keep saying guide. Is it guide or guild? I think it's guild. I'm sorry, but I think guild's attack was not that great just purely for the fact that they didn't have intel onto B, and unfortunately, or unfortunate for Smurf, Julian is able to kill uh Smurfette will right, like you kind of have like a full buy from both teams, but there's no like option like that. The two kills going in the favor of Guild, but G2 was able to keep it straight with 3-3 or 3v3, but Guide is trying to take site from Tunnel. Unfortunately, Guide doesn't really know where Zaz is, and well, because of that, G2 was able to get a kill, and G2 was able to surround the remaining guild players and kill all of them. Like I think a problem with guild so far, just from my understanding of the game, from the limited like 2 3 ranks I played and the few games I did watch before this, um, I don't think Guild is going in and it's like they don't really know where the G2 players is. That's kind of the problem. And the thing about it is that they have Sky and Cypher. That's the thing about it. Now unfortunately they just weren't able to win a few of their gunfights, and now Guild is on a half buy, but so far, there's really not much like economic damage that Guild was able to do to G2 in the entirety of this. But now you can see Guild is now taking in more floats, take intel. The Solar and the Sky Dog come in, and now Guild with the Viper wall is able to take site. But G2 they know their lineups, and then and then the ults from G2 comes in, and well, Guild is able to plant, but it is in 4v4. Both teams are able to trade and keep it even, but in a post plant situation, G2, their Jet is making or trying to take an initiative, and G2 is able to take out two, but Guild is able to keep it close. A 2v2. They now have full guns, but with not much that Guild G2 can really do when it comes down to the plant. They're just gonna try to find for economic damage and kills. Mimi is able to kill Smurfette, who then kills her Sova. 1v1, and not much that I don't think G2 can really do here. Guild is able to take out all the remaining G2 players, and that is a round for Guild, the first round of the game, and they're also able to take the op. Now, right there was a really good round from Guild. They slow down, they try to have the intel, they get ready with their intel, and then they execute on the site. And G2 wasn't able to do much. Yeah, sure, Viper was trying to use her ult to try to, or use her Molly to try to deny the plant, but unfortunately, for G2, Guild was just like dedicated to that. I really have to learn these people's names. My apologies, but G2 seems to be taking more of the initiative right here. Uh, okay, that was weird. G2 was able to deny the dog from Guild. Yes, I don't know, but there's still intel going out. There's still intel for the side of Guild, and they do know where Julian is, and that means that Julian will pop both for smokes and retreat from wooden doors. But Guild is taking it a little more slow, trying to see if they can catch any aggressive G2 players. And Julian is trying to take these gunfights, but Roxas is ready for it. And that's the first pick going in favor of Guild. It seems like an A push. It seems like an A take, but G2 doesn't really know that right here, right now. They're still in mid, but now Gil is actually rotating to B. That's a really nice shot from Cinnamon. That's a 5v3 that G2 is in, or 3v5 that G2 is in. G2 now has to play as more passive, but Gil, they keep juggling between a B push and an A push, and now they're just dedicating to A. And since Chile is the only one on A, and I mean, there's like 4 or 5 players on A, there's no way in hell that if anything, G2 or Chile is able to get fragged, but not much she can do. The plan will go down for side of Guild. G2 is able to kill Guide's Jet with Rata trades, and G2 is able to get another kill onto Cinnamon. 2v3 in the favor of Roxanne, or Guild, my apologies. as a kill for Roxy. And now in the 3v1, not much that Mimi can do. If anything, she can try to do some economic damage, maybe kill the Cypher and the Viper. If anything, just take some damage, make sure that they have to full buy their shields, if anything. But Mimi will back off and try to save her Vandal. And that's a round in favor of Guild. There might be a kill going on here now. Mimi's gonna just play safe. She's not gonna try to take the gunner with Kim. Now, right there was a pretty good round with Guild. The one thing that they didn't do for the first 4 rounds, or at least it didn't seem like it, was use their utility correctly. And now for the past 2 rounds, they've been using their utility correctly, especially when it comes down to their intel. And sure, the intel that round was a little more scuffed. If anything, it was more of the gunfights that for instance, like the gunfights they took, like Cinnamon being able to get the kill on, if I believe correctly, Zaz. I think that was a really Zaz? Z's? I really need to learn player names, dude. But that was a really good kill from Guild and allowed them to win the round. But Guild is able to actually get revenge on, or Smurfette is able to get revenge on Julian and just get a kill on her. And now you can see, well, like with just a quick peek and just an operator on the jet, Gil is able to find the first pick onto Julian, who if I believe correctly is the IGL. But Gil is able to take A again for like I think that second goddamn or like for like the consecutive like seventh time, and they're able to play it for I think the third G2 Petra. She's able to refrag, but Gil is all around her and G2 is unfortunately just unable to find any other picks besides Roxy from the side of Guild. And right now, Guild has the lead. They've won 3 rounds consecutively. The 2 rounds they did won. The 2 last rounds they won they were able to plant to get that diffuser money. I guess they call it. And though both teams are at a full buy, they do have both teams have an operator and full ARs. But if you look at the side of G2, their economics is not that great. The only player that has more than 1,000 is Julian with 1,050. And I think the richest is actually Cinnamon, funny enough, but Smurfette, she goes for aggressive peek onto B, and now this is a B take from Guild. They do rush in, and G2 just seems to be holding their ground. Julian is able to get a kill onto Cypher and it's a Jet, and that is 2 kills also from Petron, a 2K from both the Sova and Julio, or I'm sorry, a 2K from both the Jet and Sova of G2 side, and now 3K and that or 3K from Sova, and that right there was a round that G2 needed to win to stop the bleeding right there. If they did not win it, if they lost even more than 3 players, that economics will have been just garbage. I don't even think. I think they've, if anything, lost maybe 1 player. And great sniping from Julian right there. If Julian and Petra did not get those 2 kills and just help their team win the round, their economics would have been in shambles, and the bleeding will have just kept. They would have been a 4-4, and they would have been in a equal split with their economics really not that great, or their eco not that good. I always said economics. I'm so used to saying economics. Well, this is a B push from Guild though. Squirfet and Cinnamon taking the aggressive pushes, and uh, Glance with the Sova ult is able to take out Petrol, but Mimi is able to refrag. Cinnamon refrags onto Mimi, and the frag game just keeps going on. The 3v3, Guild is able to take the main advantage though, but G2 is trying to refine. Julian trying to refine. Zaz is able to get the kill on Cinnamon. Guild is able to plant onto site, but right now Kim is most likely gonna die here. She's in a place where she can't do much, and Zaz is able to kill Glance. Kim's able to kill Julian and Guild and Kim. So she was in a position where she maybe couldn't do anything. I was actually kind of wrong because she was able to do something. She was able to get the last 2 kills and make it to where not only her team was able to plant and get that money, but she was also able to kill the last 2 players. And that's a round, and that's a timeout from G2. I would call out a timeout from G2 right there because their eco even after they win I think round 8 their eco is really not in a great position right now. I don't really think right there like Julian right there. I don't think that was a good thing from Julian. Of course she made a misplay, which is of course unfortunate, but um their economics is actually or I keep saying economics. Their eco is actually not in a bad place. Uh, and instead of guild, they do have the Viper also. If they really want to, they can probably ult onto any type of site and take that really quickly. Cypher ult is almost loaded up, but on the side of G2, they do have the Sova ult, which if you ask me, like I think Glance, she using the Sova ult to take out Petrol, that was a really good frag from the side of G2. Now the timeout is out, and Gil seems to be going for at least an A contest if anything, but they do have four players here on EMEA, and Cypher is going to, I think that is B, or there is going to elbow. So it might be an A contest, maybe find a pick or two, maybe fake out a push and then rotate all the way back to B. But there is some util from the side of Kim on Guild's place, and also a Sky Dog coming in. But right now, Julian is taking the initiative, and she's able to get a kill onto Roxy, who was lurking near elbow. And then the flash comes from Chili. She's able to get one kill, but the Viper stops her from getting any more. The pop flash comes in, and she just misses. She just missed Kim, and because of that, she wasn't able to get any of the kills. This was 3v2 in favor of Guild. They've taken the site with a Sova ult from Petro comes in to deny the plant. Guy does lose Smurfette, but the plant still goes down. The Silver Dart comes in to get any type of intel. She's unable to get any intel, but they do know there is a player near, maybe from the shots from the Vandal, maybe from tracers, not sure. But Guild is ready to take this, but Glance, she doesn't know. She doesn't know that Petro's walking up to her. It's 2v1 in favor of G2. And Kim, with the Viper ult, she's the last one alive, and she's just holding the bomb as much as she can. She does hear the defuse. She's able to get the kill on Petro, and then she's also able to get the kill on Mimi. That's a 4K for Kim, and that is a round for your guild. A 5-5 split, and in the next two rounds, we're going to have the round switching from here, or that'll be the closing of the first half. Right, so far, Guild and G2 so far has just been so like I don't know. I don't want to say they're even, because G2 took the first four rounds. They took the first four rounds. They took the eco advantage. They took the main advantage every single time. And I mean hell, G2 Julian, even when they're able to take the main advantage, G2 is unfortunately unable to translate that to any type of a round win or anything like that. They're able to take a main advantage, but then Gil is able to refract and to keep the main advantage at least in the somewhat of a favorable position for them, since they're the ones attacking, and it's most likely them being able to plant. But they do know with the intel from glance that site is clear, and G2 just left A completely open, and Gil is able to get the kills on Julian and Shield. That's the two fraggers for G2 gone, and Mimi is trying to flank, but with the Sheriff, she isn't able to do much. There's two players coming at her, but she's able to get the two kills. Roxy is able to refrag, but that's economic damage dealt to Guild, and that's really heavy. That was really good fragging from the side of Mimi, but unfortunately for her, she wasn't able to get the third. She was able to get the two though. It's 3v1, and G2. It just seems like they're just falling apart here. Roxy with I don't know if it's intel or maybe just a spray, but it's 3K for Roxy, and that's a round for Guild. One more round, and if Guild wins this one more round, then that'll be a 7-5 split in favor of Guild. Of course, that's not an impossible thing for G2. I think G2 can definitely come back from that, but that's just really good fragging out from Mimi there. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to find the third onto Roxy, and Roxy was able to refrag, but that's economic damage that was done. Not too much though, but that has to be considered, especially since 200 credits on glance. But this is the final round, so economics doesn't really matter. There's no op on the side of Guild, but there is an op on the side of G2, and it seems like uh Guild is gonna have more of like a contest and a B contest, but if anything, their mid players are gonna see like what they can do. It seems like all the players from Guild is gonna rotate to B, and unfortunately for Roxy, Mimi's able to kill her, and that is a kill and that is the main advantage in favor of G2. But and also the Cypher all does come in. I was going to mention that earlier, but the Cypher Wall does come in. Chili is here on ropes, and she might get a kill onto Cinnamon. She is able to, but all of Guild knows where Chili is. Smurf is able to get the frag, and now it's a 4v3 in favor of G2, and Zaz is using her ult to hold off any pushes from A, which is a really good thing from her. But Smurf is able to get the kill on her, pushing out Zaz from her position in the Viper ult. And now it's a 3v3. Kim is planting the diffuser, and they're able to do that, but G2 so far, they've just been falling apart. G2 so far has just been unable to translate that to any like any round wins or more of a man advantage in their favor, like a 5v3, 5v2. It's just unfortunate for G2. But what you can do, Guild is a really good team after all, and with some of the teamwork from the Mimi, Mimi's able to. Oh no, they were Mimi wasn't able to defuse. She was able to get it to half, but she almost defused. It's a 2v2, and now Julian is gonna try to defuse. She is able to, and that is a round in favor of G2. A 6-6 half. Glenn is able to get the last two kills with really nice picks, but Guild was unable to deny the plant. They were able to deny the plant the first time, but the second time they weren't able to. And that right there, G2 was just wasting utility. That was a really good thing for G2 because of how Guild played, where they put some utility onto A, and then Mimi gaining the kill onto Roxy, killing the Cypher, and then the Cypher all making it to where, or the Cypher all activating it. It made it to where Guild wasn't able to push B, because if they did still push B, if all of Guild decided to go in and try to push B after the Cypher all scanned them, then all of G2 would have known that they're going to B, and they will have been ready for it. But even there, I mean, if anything, it just came down to gunfights, really. It just came down to gunfights and how they really went. And Guild right there played as fast as they possible, but right there, it was a really nice fight from Guild, but unfortunately, G2 was just so focused on denying any win through the future for Guild. But now we're on the second half. G2's on attack and Guild's on defense, and majority of Guild defenses is on B. But G2, it seems like they are going to go for more of an A swarm. You do have Julian and Zaz going for a hall clear, and fortunately for Julian, she's able to win the gunfight against Murphy and Glance. That's a 5v3 in favor of G2. They finally took the main advantage. It is possible for them to translate it to a round win though. But Julian is lit. She has 25 health. One bullet can just kill her. But all of Guild does not know where Zaz is. She's able to get the first pick, and she's unable to get any more damage onto Roxy. And Roxy is able to refract, but in a 4v3 or 4v2 situation, and with bomb down is not necessarily impossible, but with Mimi and Chili just holding their angles and knowing where Guild is coming from, specifically mid doors, G2 is able to find the frags, and that is a round for G2. Ever since ever since the beginning of this game, when they took 4 rounds consecutively, when they took the first 4 rounds, G2 finally found themselves having the advantage. I don't want to say necessarily a half buy here. It's like more of like a quarter buy, I think it's called. But on the side of Guild, you do have pistols. You do have the Marshall though from Smurfette. And Smurfette is a pretty good shot with the Marshall, but all of G2 at least have Spectres and Bulldogs, and Julian being able to get the kill onto Cinnamon with a pistol. Julian with the kind of the run and gun of the Spectre that has to some extent is able to get the kill onto Roxy as well, but Glance is able to refract onto Chili with the classic. But Smurfette is trying to be aggressive with that Marshall. She does miss the first shot, but Julian is able to get a few shots onto her. Not too many though. And Julian is able to get the third. She's able to get the fourth. Is she going to go for the ace? It's possible for her to get the ace, but Glance denies the ace for her. Glance is able to also get Gil onto Pietro, a 2v1 situation that glances in. She has to get these next two kills in order for her team to win this and take it to a 7-7. But in the post plan, you having to deal with two players and you being like 4 health, it's almost impossible, especially when you're facing against Spectres and Bulldogs. She's able to get the first on Zaz. That's something that is really crucial for her. She's able to diffuse a little bit. She's maybe able to get this to half, but Mimi is able to kill Glands, denying the future or denying the ace and the clutch in favor of Glands, and that is a round for G2 6-8 in favor of Gozen. Now, right there, I think a few important kills really came in. Like Julian, if Julian didn't made the ground that she did make, right? If she wasn't able to go in and entry for her team and take out those first 3 players, 4 players, then that would have been a way more harder round for Guild, right? I think the problem was there is that they really weren't expecting a B push from Julian. She was just able to walk into Say and get a few kills, and it felt like Guild wasn't really holding mid like that. But right now, G2 is just stacking upon obviously A. Of course, um, Mimi is watching G2's flank and maybe is going to go for a hall contest here. But Julian is just taking initiative and is trying to find the kills. She's able to find the first onto glance, but Kim is able to refrag. And G2 is able to, fortunately for them, plant. And now in a post-match situation, I think like maybe 30, 40 seconds into the round, with a rush or semi-rush from G2, Guild is now on the offensive, and with a decent amount of utility left on the side of a G2, I don't know if this is going to be possible, but G2 is able to kill 2 members of Guild, but Guild is able to refract a 2v1 that Cinnamon's in, and or 1v2 that Cinnamon's in. Cinnamon knows where Mimi is, and the Cypher Cage is going to make it harder for her to know exactly where Mimi is, but she's able to find, or she's able to predict where Mimi will go onto stairs and find the pick. Cinnamon is in a very bad situation. The Viper is just holding her ground, and with only not many seconds left, Cinnamon decides to rotate and try to save her Vandal. That's a round in favor of G2, and G2 so far attacks has been really, really good. They've won, I think, like the last 3, 4 rounds. I don't think they've even lost a round. Ever since they won their last defensive round in the first half, they were able to win all of their rounds so far, and that's a 6-9 in favor of G2. I think, or 6-9, yeah, nice. But um, Guild so far is just their defenses are really not that great. If you ask me, their defenses like it feels like they don't really know what they're like where G2 is gonna push. And to be fair, from last round, G2 just kind of rushed in a way. Sure, they rushed in a way where they had intel and they had their entries like be right front with some intel right in front of them. And then you had other players kind of right behind those entries just in case the entries died and second entries, I guess you can call them, will get the frags. But who else is also getting the frags is actually Julian. She doesn't need a second entry. She's able to get the kill on Cinnamon. Cinnamon has not really been able to get any picks. You look at Cinnamon for the side of Guild to be kind of like this player to make ground for you, and despite her being on the skies, um, she's just unfortunately able to find anything. But Julian, with the help of, if I believe correctly, Chili is able to go in and take A or B kind of for free in a way with the help of the Viper wall as well. G2 is just able to play it, and there's not much that there's really not much that G2 can really do here. It's just kind of but Glance does get a kill on Petrol with the shock dart. Kim is able to also get a kill on Julio, but my apologies, Chili, but Julio was able to refract. Kim does kill Julio, and Guild is able to kill all of G2. The first round that G2 or Guild is able to take ever since they've switched rounds. So far, I think G2 have won 4 consecutive rounds in a row, but Guide is able to stop the bleeding, or Gil is able to stop the bleeding and take their first round. Right now, Kim and Glance doing a lot of the work, and you can actually see Cinnamon is not doing much. She's going 9-13, and you kind of see her as this player to be like, okay, she's gonna make ground for us. She's gonna be out here like that, and unfortunately, she's just unable to pull up. Guild is going to take their first time out of the second half, and if you want to look at the economics, I guess we can call it the eco. The favor is somewhat into Guild's favor. They do have those vandals and phantoms. Roxy hasn't bought anything yet. I'm assuming she's gonna go for more of a half buy if anything. But on the side of G2, for instance, their economics is really not that great so far, and it's quite unfortunate because if G2 is unable to win this round, the 17th round of this game, then it's possible that Gil is able to kind of keep the momentum up and to uh, make the seventh round be really important because if they didn't catch that seventh round, or if they didn't catch the 16th round, my apologies, then I mean G2 could possibly just with the momentum keep going in and Guild is able to stop the momentum from G2, of course, but it's possible that Guild might have the momentum or at least swing the mental and momentum into both into no one's favor. But G2, Julio does have the Jet ult, but all of G2 is on a quarter buy, I guess you can call it. But with some intel, Julio was able to make the aggression and kill Guild's Viper. The Smurf is able to get the refract onto Julio, shutting down the Jet. Mimi is able to get the kill on Glance. And 4v3 situation in favor of G2, and also in the post plant. Chili is trying to heal some of her teammates, but Mimi is just trying to play her life here. The dog, the guild doesn't know where Mimi is, and Cinnamon is able to get the kill. That's another kill for, or that is the 10th kill in favor of Cinnamon, something that you don't really expect her getting her 10th kill in round 17. But G2 is able to get the kills onto Guild. Guild is able to keep it close into a 2-1, but Roxy does have the Guardian. She is possibly able to do something, but unfortunately, the Silva Dart does shock her. And with not much that Roxy can really do in G2, just with util and the worry of death, I guess you can call it, from the G2 players. Roxy is unable to do anything, and that's round in favor of G2, 7-10. Right there, if Julie, or how you said it, I'm sorry. Oh my god, my brain was just fried. I'm sorry. But if Petra did not get the intel onto Kim right there, and Julian did not make that play to try to kill her, then it's possible that um, Guy will have been able to repel that because Guy or Kim does have all that util that is really good for the nine plant, and it's possible that the plant will have came in later, but Guild, Cinnamon, and Smurf Ed is trying to make the aggression work and try to kill a few G2 players, but unfortunately G2 is able to predict it, and all of G2 now is rotating to B, and it seems like Guild to some extent is very wary of this. You do have two players still on A, the Silva and Safer, but they do have their three players rotate to B. Unfortunately for Cinnamon, she dies due to Julion's opping skills, and Julian it does take Ness. This is a really important position because Julian is able to rotate to B if she needs to. She's able to help her team rotate to B because she does have this ground, and there might be a kill going in favor of Guild, but Julian might be able to also get the kill. Unfortunately, for Julian, Gil is able to swarm her and kill her. That's an op gone from G2 side, but no one so far has the op. But G2 is able to play it onto A, and the Cypher ult, or my apologies, the Viper ult coming in, it's just going to make the Guild's retaking of the site really hard. Smurf pulls out the knives, but falls to his ass. Roxy is able to get the refrag, and now it's a 3v3. The damage is not in the health is not in favor of Guild, and G2 is able to find the kills onto Guild. The 3v1, and Glance is only, if anything, she's only able to do eco damage, but Mimi is able to find the kill, and the momentum, even though they lost round 16, the momentum is still in favor of G2 here. So like if you want to look at the scoreboard, I've said this previously. Cinnamon is just not doing much. All right, like I'm sorry, she's not doing too much. She's not necessarily the entry that we kind of expect. And to be fair, she's not an initiator. All right, we can't always expect initiators to be like that. But when you have a Sky and Sova um duo, I guess you could call it, if you have these two ops together, then in a way, one of these players are most likely going to play as more of like a second entry. And right now, that's Chile for G2, and supposedly Cinnamon for and for Guide or Guild, but unfortunately, for Guild, Cinnamon is just not really pulling up like that, and Glance is able and Kim is able to take the side of Cinnamon, which is a really good thing. And speaking of which of Kim, she's able to get the kill on Petra. That's the Sova of G2 gone. That's also the Sova ult that Pietro has is gone. There's no ults in favor of Guild, and there's also no ults in favor of G2. But Mimi and Julian was able to get kills on Roxy and Cinnamon. That's another death for Cinnamon. I'm really kind of worried for her. In a 4v3 situation, it seems like G2 kind of fixed their problem of not being able to fix their problem of taking the first pick and then and not translating it to either a 5v3 or even a 4v3 and keeping the main advantage in their favor. But Guild is now swarming onto site. I think they do know where G2 might be, but Gil and because of that, Gil is able to get the first two kills. Chili's able to refract, but now in a 2v3 situation, or now in a 2v2 situation, G2 has the favor because of the post plant, but Kim on the 3K is possible for her to get the fourth, but she's on the plan. But Zaz, being able to get the kills onto Kim England is able to get another round win and get match point for G2. That's a really good from Zaz right there. If Zaz did not get those two kills, and to be fair, it's a Vandal range, and she can, or the Vandal can pretty much headshot from anywhere. Let's be honest. But I think there's also some pings going in favor of G2 being like, okay, here's the diffuser, you can wallbang here, and then because of that, um, Zaz was able to know where exact or where at least somewhat exactly know where the diffusing guild player where Kim is and was able to get the kills. Of course, it was a little more of a spray, but something that's not necessarily a spray is the operator. Sure, it does have spray, but I mean when you have Julian on there playing calls, it's you don't really expect it to you expect it to be very accurate and if anything maybe barely miss a shot, but Guild here is trying to take the aggressive peaks. Kim is able, or sorry, Chili is able to kill Smurf Ed, but Kim, as kind of like that second entry in a way to Smurf Ed in that situation, was able to get the refract onto Chili. Um, Guild has unfortunately lost her entry player, but same and G2 losing their second entry, but if you actually look at Chili, she has her ult, and sure, Sova still has his ult, but Kim, her ult is very powerful. She's on that Viper, she has that ult, and so far she actually has planted it. I didn't even notice, but Julian is able to push out Kim and take her out. G2 has taken A, but Guild is nearby and is trying to retake. Mimi just so consistent with these plants, and Julian with so consistent with this fragging. She's able to get two kills onto Cinnamon and Glance. Unfortunately, unfortunate for them. And now in a 4v1 situation, Roxy can't do much, and that is going to be a match win or a map win in favor of G2 at 4K from Julian, and that's just a really, really good just play from G2. uh, I don't think Guild is necessarily weak on this per se, but unfortunately for them, they were just unable to find that many picks. And on their attacking half, they were able to find their picks. They were able to even if they did lose the main advantage, they were able to find ground enough ground for them to get the refrag and also the plan. And to be fair, Breeze has a little more of a attacker sided map just because of how big the map is, and there's also not too much cover. If anything, uh, we see A being attacked a lot, and to be fair, the meta seems to be more of an A attack compared to let's say B attack, and you see even here right now that A was just planted a lot. Frankly, like B was just planted a lot at A, but so far, Cinnamon just wasn't able to find any frags, and I want to talk on her because it just seems so worrying for the side of Guild that if Cinnamon does not pull up to even some extent, and even Smurfette really wasn't pulling up too much. You want to know who were the two people that were on top? It was Kim and Glance. Um, they were on the top. These two players were on the top, and Roxy. These three players were on the top. Smurf, if anything, was maybe fourth place, and then Cinnamon was just fifth. She wasn't really doing much. Smurf is just unable to find the kills and entries, and same thing with Cinnamon, and G2 was just able to. And Of course, like I said, this is more of an attacking sided map, but G2 was able to keep it straight. That's the thing about it. G2 was able to keep it even to where it's a 6-6 half. You know, like how do you even do that? Um, of course, this is my first time casting. I'll be coming back in a few minutes, but thank you guys for listening to me ramble about games. Appreciate it, and yeah, see you in the next game.